Hello everyone, Simon here from the Wales of Wall Street. A quick fire update video here on XDC and Quant. How lucky are you guys out there to have two projects in one video? And there's a reason why I am bringing this to your attention. Guys, before we do that, do go check out our other videos as well. Loads of different projects covered all the time. Hopefully you enjoy all of those. But also do not forget, please, to make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button if you have not done so already. Get involved, tell your friends, tell your family. Let's get ready to rumble. Guys, quick news here. Now the overledger, a big part of the system of Quant. This is very much around the interoperability of mainnets and bringing together a multitude of chains via their overledger API system. The latest update, 2.2.9, they do love to bring out individual changes every few months. If you haven't seen that before, do go check out their previous release notes. It's quite staggering, actually, how often they update this beautiful system that we are invested in. Of course, Quant, QNT on the exchange, the utility token of Quant, building its ecosystems. This press release came out earlier today. Pretty much, do you know what? Before we start, I would like to know how good 2.3 would be, and imagine the 3.0. That's going to be something, isn't it? But this, for now, is what we're dealing with here. So the release deploys the first version of Tokenize, Quant's new tokenization product, and provides connectivity with, drumroll, the XDC mainnet and Bitcoin version 2.3. This is pretty cool because obviously, we are big fans of XinFin XDC on this channel. There's big news recently related to them as well this week about the Trada token. There's loads and loads of conversations going on right now across the Twitter sphere and other social media platforms about what is this Trada token? What's it going to do? Fact of the matter is, no one really knows. For peace of mind, I am working very hard in the background, speaking to a couple of people at Trade Deck. You probably know at least one of them. I'm not going to mention his name just yet, but we do speak very often. He's very high up in regards to advisory panels and boards of financial systems worldwide, his experience, and with Trade Tech and XinFin. So we will cover that hopefully very soon. I might even get him on with an AMA. But either way, I'm going to get some information from him for sure. We've been speaking about this recently. So that's going to be really cool. But bringing this back around to the topic of like this extraordinary aspect of, XDC's network and the foundation, the whole entire thing about XinFin really excites me massively. We'll go into the price points of both Quant and XDC in a short while. But this I really love because I remember seeing videos a couple years ago relating to people questioning whether Quant was indeed capable of interoperability, and every chain or loads of different chains always come up with this philosophy around being interoperable, right? And I've always said on the channel, for blockchain and metaverse and all these things to work, and for automation to work, AI to work collectively, interoperability is key. There is not one winner in this space. You're not just going to have a removal of every single crypto asset. Of course, we'll lose loads of them, potentially 90%, even more of the total amount of crypto assets out there, unless they have utility and being used in a realistic fashion. But the ones in my mind, and we covered this on a recent video about why, for example, a specific project targets a specific category in the world, and finance is the biggest out there right now, understandably, from the banking institutional levels. Of course it's going to be. I think it was like at least 30-40% of all the different categories you can think of, whether it's farming, energy, gaming, all of these things. Of course finance is going to be up there. We talk about the RTGS system being replaced, the existing Swift and CHAPS systems with the new CBDC systems, and you think like, how much money is that? And the RTGS system, for those that haven't watched that video, do check it out at the end of this one. RTGS on its own transacts and verifies $720 billion worth of transactions per day. That's just that small part. And I say small, it's a big number, but it's small. The whole world's trade finance is coming to life. We talk about trade tech, we talk about Quant, we talk about XinFin, and all these collaborative efforts going on around the world, and all these different blockchains. So we see here with the Overledger tokenization in its beta launch, however you want to say it, this is really exciting. So we've got loads of really cool stuff to come, guys, because I don't know how long this testing is going to take, or indeed the launch of the beta, like in the background. I'm assuming they're using some of their partners, could be potentially things like Oracle or something, for their API capabilities of interoperability. But do you know what I love about this paragraph here? Making blockchain-based payments, creating tokenized money, digesting equities, and developing interoperable NFTs. Now, I can assure you, I'm sure there might be some artworks or something in there, but I can assure you from the NFT aspect, it's really important that people stop thinking of NFTs just as pieces of art. NFTs are so much bigger than this. Anything and everything that has a residual value, anything physically or anything that can be done on a outside that 1-to-1 ratio would be classed as an NFT. A house, a car, property, all these different things, your assets can be NFT tokenized, non-fungible tokens. Okay, so when we're talking about institutional level, at this top level where Quant is dealing with, we could be talking about significant detail here of commercialization. We could be talking about real estate. We could be talking about even higher than that, commercial estate. We could be talking about the smart contracts elements between business and business, and how fast the economy can grow based on all these algorithms, the AI, the automation. It's phenomenal. And this whole thing that Overledger is all about, those that don't know, do go check out what is Overledger on the Quant website. We did cover this in a few videos back if you wanted to check that out. But it is phenomenal. And this here, let me just pull it up. Where is it? These are just small aspects of this, but it's all about the removal of like cloud services and service to service systems, and utilizing blockchain for better connectivity between businesses, between institutions, between banks. This is going to change the world significantly. I'm super excited about Quant. I do honestly believe, and please do mark this down in your calendars, I believe by 2030 we should be at least looking at a Quant price of over $5,000. If you don't agree with that, let me know in the comments below. But I know the magnitude of the financial world. I know what Quant's doing in the background, and I know their partnerships, and I know how their integrations are working. It's clear as day, and that's how I think about that. And you must understand the tokenomics of Quant, how much is in supply and things like this, and how the QNT token will be used and all of these things. It makes sense in my head to make that kind of assumption for the future. So this is all like really interesting stuff. Thank you. I have like a WhatsApp group and there's loads of pals, and new people have been joining and stuff like this. I will start probably the Telegram group up properly if anyone fancies joining in and having big discussions on a daily basis about things. It's super cool to do so. But my pal Dan kindly sent me the article earlier. I was in the middle of like 2 calls simultaneously. Can you believe it? And that message came through, and I was like super excited when I saw the words like QRC20 and then ERC20 and then XDC stuck in there as well. It's absolutely brilliant. This release basically helps support the XDC network mainnet as well. Of course, we know this hybrid solutions that XDC and XinFin bring to the table, but also this connection to Bitcoin as well. People don't understand, like, Bitcoin's not just a currency, guys. It's one of the institutional blockchain technologies. It's going to power so many things. We always talk about the cost of it and mining and this, that, and the other. Well, that's because there's so much energy consumption going towards the fact that the network's so huge, that people are using it in the background with reasonings you can't even fathom. Trust me. And this will all come out the open one day, and people will finally realize that Bitcoin is not just the cryptocurrency, a currency itself. It's a phenomenal technology. And once you understand that, you understand the implications of all these other things like Quant's capabilities and what XinFin's ecosystem is doing on top of this as well, or in conjunction with. So this, in my opinion, is really big news. It's a big step. It's probably not going to affect the price for a couple of reasons. One, we're in a bear market. Two, we're in a negative world set right now. If this was in a bull market, you'd probably see some reaction, in all honesty. But right now, we just have to understand that this is big news. It's working towards something even bigger, and actually perhaps accumulating right now in these DCA opportunities and maybe even in lower opportunities could be a good move. Right now, Quant is floating just over that $50 mark. We'll go into the chart detail in a second properly. And XDC itself is still just about holding over that 2 cent mark. So there's a lot of fluctuation downwards still right now, and I don't think it's over. I've said this for a while now. I still believe Bitcoin can come down to below 15,000, maybe towards $12,000, and that in turn will bring down all of the crypto assets just slightly further. You are finding, guys, across the market right now, a majority of the projects out there are hitting their original seed prices, and this is great because you're now seeing almost the leveled bottoms in most of these things for a potential turnaround. I work in this industry, and everyone, honestly, trust me, every single person I speak to, whatever project it is in Web3 and gaming or in finance, whatever it is, everyone I speak to on a daily basis is consistently looking out in the nitty-gritty algorithms of charts and news and information that they get from the hierarchies about looking for this signal turnaround, okay? And we will know when that happens because everyone will start doing more and more project-wise. But that doesn't stop the likes of Quant, for example, continuing their phenomenal progression. Why? Because they deal with a superior institutional level of custom and audience. Okay, they're not here relatively for the retail investors. It's great that we can get involved, and we should be very grateful and appreciative of that. But the fact of the matter is, these guys won't stop. Banking and finance does not stop around the world. So now I've finished my waffling, guys. Hopefully that was a bit of an insight for you guys. Do go check out those bits of information. I'll try and leave links in the descriptions below as well. But I'm going to have a quick fire update because we did cover Quant and XDC this week already. But I want to reiterate, I drew these lines in about opportunities to get XDC in lower regions. I did hit the buy order just above this 2.2 cent mark, which is really cool. But I do still anticipate lower opportunities for XDC. I know it sounds horrible, and it's not a reflection on thinking that XDC is a terrible token or project. It's just the market that we are in. And I do remember XDC being really low previously in history and wishing that I had more at these lower prices. I was buying XDC at like 10 cents, 12 cents, because I believed in its future, that actually if I'm buying at 12 cents and I think this is going to go to $5 one day, what does it matter? But now I've got a massive opportunity to be accumulating XDC in DCA averaging on the way down, to accumulate my bags. And that is exactly the same for Quant as well, which we'll go into in a second. Reiterating what I said the other day with XDC, look at this. We're having a bit of a sell-off here. Now, the last time this happened, it didn't last for very long. What's interesting is the direction it's going in so far is pretty straight. So this could be a quick turnaround back into green mode again. But regardless of that, the levels are too low. This is indicating to us, everyone, that we are in an unstable situation. People want to accumulate XDC, but not with loads of money. And it's just as and when we can DCA. It's clear as day to me in these charts and the algorithms that I see on a daily basis. The RSIs are low. Look at that 14-day, 19. A project like XDC with a 14-day RSI of 19. 28-day is on 28. This for me, I am bagging XDC as I can, when I can, in these situations. It could come down lower, absolutely, but the risk is a lot lower at these regions compared to when I was obviously buying up here. I knew when I was buying up here that it was going to come a lot lower, but you just don't significantly 100% ever know, right? So you have to guard yourself on the upward trend and the downward trend in an orderly fashion, not just go, oh, I'm going to dump $1,000 up here. Stagger it out, because you know what market we're in, we know what world situation we're in. So that's the XDC format conversation. Let's jump into quant. This is so exciting for me because I love this price point of 50. We did reiterate in the last quant video a couple of days ago, I am waiting for this area. Slowly but surely, we are coming back to this. I do anticipate us to float back to this 50 mark bang on and test underneath that as well, perhaps into the 47, 46 mark. And I do think potentially that could fail. As I said in that video, we've got a lack of support areas back here. 2021 was the last time we were in these price points properly, and we did the touch points back down here in May. Not enough in my opinion, and same for here, it's too short. So if we do get back to this level, I do anticipate us dragging ourselves potentially back down to the $40 mark. And if it goes to test underneath that, I can assure you I've got a lot of USDT sitting there waiting for that moment. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, because I've been buying quant right now, and if it flies up, bloody brilliant, bring it on. That's the beauty of doing it in this way, in this strategic manner, because you almost win in both scenarios. And again, not too close or dissimilar to XDC. The volumes are not massive. Again, reiterating the situation of the market that we're in, and the traders, whether it's retail or institutional levels, are in this mindset. The RSIs for quant have been showcasing a bit of a dip. You can see the MACD is narrowing significantly. This is why I'm excited about this $50 mark, because if we do touch this and it brings itself back down, we could start seeing those $45 to $48 marks again. Let's see how that plays out. You can see if I'm guessing right here or not. But the 28-day is on 40. The 14-day is on 40. These are really good bite points for me anyway, as a first stage scenario of buying in. If it drops down lower, obviously I have incremental levels that I will be doing so as well. And I'll always keep you informed and transparent when I'm buying, when I'm selling, when I've given up on a project, what I'm doing with my strategies. Because, if things don't work, that's an experience. That's learning for you as well. If they do work, it's exactly the same scenario. So we're all learning here. I'm still learning every single day, no matter how many years I've been doing this, no matter how much I'm in the industry myself, in blockchain and Web3, particularly in gaming. It doesn't matter. You can learn things every day. On the performance indicators on the right-hand side here, the week is still negative, but it's quite low. This month is disappointing. But I do think that we will get some good traction with quant when it swings back up, and you'll start to see some really significant returns on these from these lower regions that you're buying. But as expected, with this negative world set at the moment, all the movements across, for the reasons we know of, and also the things I've always mentioned, like the macro events, energy pricing, fuel, living costs. All of these things, whereas a retail investor, it's all right if you're a bank and maybe millionaires and stuff, but if you're a retail investor, it's very variant in terms of like people's abilities to invest, lower spectrum, mid spectrum, high spectrum. Regardless, you're being conscious now of like, how much can I put in? Or do I need this money? Do I need to bring this money out? It's a ridiculous situation in 2022 that the world is such a mess still. But this is what we live in, right? But we have to adapt. We have to be strategic with everything that we do, and especially when it comes to finances, you've got to be savvy, and you've got to risk assess, guys. Do your own research on everything when it comes to investments. Don't just take my word for things. My words are not financial advice, they're opinions, and they're based on my experiences and what works and doesn't work for me. But you must do that, and get as much information as you can as possible. If you believe in the project significantly, then it's just a question of like, where are my entry points? And that's where it comes down to DCAing and understanding, more importantly for me, is the history of charts and cycles. Now, this is something I've not learned forever. I've learned this quite recently about paying more attention to historic information and data and charts, as I mentioned with all these support lines here. As an example for quant, is significant across the board, guys. And looking back even further than that, if the project is old enough and you can see back 4 or 5 years, or indeed 2 or 3 proper cycles, you've got even more of an opportunity to understand where we are in the longevity of a project, let alone the macro level. So guys, that's wrapping these topics up here. I hope you found that interesting. Do leave comments below, any questions, any thoughts. What do you think about all this? I think it's super exciting. Guys, we're going to wrap that up there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.